Hello everyone, this is Lolly. I want to do a flip through of this journal that I did in early 2016. It is a very personal journal. I am extremely happy that I did it and that it holds such memories for me. I was going through an excessively difficult period in my life. I mentioned that I was going through a difficult time, but I did not explain it. And then recently, when I just released my ebook, I mentioned in there that I had faced a possible MS diagnosis at one point in my life. So I thought I would do the flip through while explaining and letting you in on that part of my life. So my word for 2016, I chose the word courage. Because in December before, in 2015, I woke one day barely able to walk, and I had the symptoms of MS. I was bouncing into the walls, my legs were giving out, and as a retired RN, I knew exactly what it looked like. It looked like MS. I was definitely frightened, and I had to wait through a lot of tests and procedures and doctor appointments to finally get everything settled. So what I started doing, because I was so scared and I really felt like I couldn't really talk to anyone in particular. My husband was frightened. I couldn't even really talk to him about it, because he was so scared. And so I kept getting these memes that people would post on Facebook. I would save them to my computer and I would print them out and put them in here. And I would also type up quotes and scriptures, and I would write in here things that happened throughout my journey with trying to hang on. Okay, so let's flip through. So I had a brain scan done right away, and it did show that I had the brain lesions, and the impression from the doctor or the radiologist who read it was that it could be migraines, which isn't me, no migraines ever, or it could be a stroke if the symptoms went along with it, which my symptoms didn't match a stroke, or the third option was it could be MS if the symptoms matched, and my symptoms 100% matched MS. So I had, like I said, my legs were extremely wonky. I could not, especially if I got up on my tiptoes, they were extremely bad. And I found that I couldn't even walk. Sometimes I was paralyzed and stuck to one spot. I was using a cane. I did get to a neurologist. The first neurologist wasn't very helpful, just kept ordering more and more tests. I was having difficulty with the tests. My lumbar puncture didn't go well. I know one point I have a note in here about going to the ER. The reason I started this was because when I went to the chiropractor, he saw me walking and he just blurted out, "Oh yeah, you have an aggressive form of MS and your insurance is going to drop you." And I was just so devastated, and I said, I cannot focus on that. I have to keep my mind trained. Oh, look at here, January 14th, I had 2,400 subscribers on my YouTube channel. That was my total. And I have How Firm a Foundation. I printed out that song, Take Care of Your Body. It's the only place you have to live. So through all these tests, and eventually I got into seeing the MS specialist in town. Now, we are in a very, very large college town, and we have a population of over 180,000. So I got to see the MS specialist, and I was trying to be upbeat, and I said, I'm trying to, keep a positive attitude. This thing came on me pretty suddenly. Maybe it'll just go away and we'll never know what it was. And she sadly shook her head no and said, "I'm sorry, but MS is the only thing this can be." So the plan was she was going to do another brain scan every 6 months and watch my brain lesions, because that's what they would do with MS. Many people, it takes them a couple years to actually get the diagnosis. I also put, cards and special treats that friends sent me, by the way. And so that's what they were going to do. They were going to just keep on doing the brain scans and watch those lesions and then give me the diagnosis. Well, I knew I definitely didn't want that diagnosis if I could help it, but I knew that it did, I agreed with her, this only looked like MS. And so I was already going to an MD who is what's called a functional medicine doctor, meaning he does preventative medicine and natural treatment holistic therapies. They actually treat MS in their office. There's my lumbar puncture was scheduled. And so when I went to him, he said, no, this isn't MS. You have been exposed to toxic mold. And I was in shock. I said, does toxic mold cause brain lesions? He said, definitely. And I said, but toxic mold will cause the wonky legs, the spastic legs I have? And he said, yep. He said, and this is very important, I need you to pay attention. He said, untreated toxic mold will become MS 100% of the time. I'm going to repeat that. Untreated toxic mold will become MS 100% of the time. He said, that's fact, but because of that, his opinion was that much of the MS has been caused by untreated toxic mold. So then we embarked on this treatment to rid my body of the toxic mold with the supplements he had, and that it continued to be a very brutal year for me because that was the worst detox I've ever had in my life. It's just brutal. I don't know how else to explain it, but it was miserable. I had hope because I knew that I was going to get better, and it was going to take years, but I was going to get better. So it probably took like 6 months, maybe to 6 months to 9 months to actually get treated for the toxic mold. And after that, then we had to do liver support because it is extremely hard on your liver to get rid of the byproducts of the toxic mold from your body that's been killed off. So, and you could see lots of stickers too in here. I did it very simple, a lot of pasting and gluing with little bits of notes here and there. In the end, I was so much better, but still, you know, this was 2016, right? And even up to January of 2021, last year, every time I would get an infection, anything that caused inflammation in my brain, going up into really high altitude, driving too long, a cold, a fever, anything like that. Weather changes would cause me to be spastic again. And I had the worst infection of my history in January of 2021. And so because of that, my walking was so bad that even a walker would not hold me up. So that was really discouraging. I couldn't even get through the grocery store with a shopping cart. I had to lean over the bar handle of the shopping cart and pedal with my feet to push myself through the grocery store. So that's where I was. But after that infection cleared up, it's just like the brain lesions through time and have been healing more and more. I have not had any wonkiness since that time. I have been so much better, and it really feels like that it's gone. My brain lesions have finally healed. But all along, every time, all along in my journey, I've had, except for the first year, the spastic legs have been intermittent. So it's like I could be feeling fine one day, but then by afternoon I could barely walk and I would need a cane and I would be stumbling and falling. And yes, I have fallen a few times. Many times my legs would give out and the wall would catch me. So many people have told me that they cannot afford to go to a functional medicine MD like I go to. And I have to say, you can't afford not to, because look what he's done for me. I attribute him with saving my life. And I refer people to him constantly. People come from all over the U.S. to see him and his brother. There are two of them, two MDs that are brothers that run this practice, and they've just now hired another MD. I can't say it enough how much I owe him for what he's done for me. And although I'm private about my health issues, and I had never before really shared on my YouTube channel about this, I knew that it was time, and I wanted you to share my journey here with me. This is why I love journals. This is a huge story in my life, and I wanted you to be a part of that and to know the victory that I have achieved through taking this naturally and avoiding that MS diagnosis. I will give you a link underneath this video to the clinic where they operate. Again, I can't say enough about them. And I thank you to the friends who did know what was going on. I could put on a good fake for, like I was going to Creativation, and every year I had to struggle with, should I bring my cane? Because if my legs give out at Creativation, I won't be able to get through it. And in the end, I would decide against it, but I had to pace myself, because I would go through the Creativation showroom floor, and I would have to go to the hotel room and just relax. I couldn't sightsee. I couldn't, do other things other than go out to eat and head back to the room and try to relax and let my body rest. We made it, and I'm just so blessed and so happy. And I hope that some of you can find hope in your journey as well.